It's Madden NFL 23, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the Jacksonville Jaguars. All that and more coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State and TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Dallas Cowboys and the Jacksonville Jaguars. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Set to go now on a beautiful sunny afternoon. And off we go from Jacksonville. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. And a look at a guy, definitely got a little razzle-dazzle to him. Can do it with his arm or his legs. Their mobile QB.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100 plus the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Play action. It's Aikman. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Walker now on 1st and 10. Yannick Ngakoue in on the stop.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Fake middle throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
So many things have to go right for any passing play to work out. Quarterback has to understand the defense, deliver an accurate ball. Receiver has to concentrate and bring it in. Somewhere along the assembly line, something was off with that one.
Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. Oh, he shifts past him. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the first down. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a fourth down.
Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And I think really good defenders can sniff out those screen passes, just something that they can feel, something that they can sense about how the quarterback drops back or how the lineman is just a little slow to block the oncoming rushers. He read it perfectly, got in there, and made the play.
And if you look at the next-gen stats, you'll see that he topped out at an even 21 miles an hour. Well, when they began that opening drive, they didn't have the best field position, but they were able to move the ball enough, Charles, to just get in his range to take the 3-0 advantage.
Absolutely, because considering where they began that series, I think they're pretty happy to be sitting at 3-zip right now.
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away.
And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback.
So here are the Jags now set to get their first drive. And they'll be let out by their left-handed quarterback.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Got his man. It's Williams. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
He'll grab 3 yards on the play, taking it himself for the first down. That may be a sneak peek on this opening drive of what this young rookie can showcase, his legs.
And normally, as you start a game, you're just thinking, can he get the snap? Can he hand off? Can he just execute? Instead, he doesn't waste any time on wrapping another dimension to his game, showing off those wheels and picking up some nice yardage.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll set up to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. It'll be a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. He'll drop to throw. And his throw here's incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Back to throw. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence applied the heat.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. That's taken on the 25. Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7 though on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10.
Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10.
They begin with a run by Smith. Able to avoid him at the 40. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Again, it's Smith, and he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1.
Now Aikman. Throw out wide to Walker.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they're just going to run it inside. But you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space. And that's exactly what he does to the tune of a 1st down.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1.
Now Aikman on 1st down.
And this is caught by Witten, the tight end.
And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you can have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
On 2nd down, here's Aikman.
He finds his man, complete. That's Pearson.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 43.
Looking to throw again here, Aikman.
And on the left side, he's got Witten.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Aikman operating from the gun. Complete. Smith has it. Down inside the 10. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great play there. 28 yards as his guys are able to extend their lead. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield of the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Zerline good with a PAT, and the lead grows to 10-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told, and it culminates in a Dallas touchdown.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. A carry by Taylor to start the drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
They go to the ground again with Taylor. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
Back to throw here. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
For many people, that's not your standard play call in that 3rd down situation. But for so many offenses, they just want the ball in the hands of their playmakers in open space. And after he caught it, he did a nice job picking up the 1st down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
From the gun, it's Taylor.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the 1st quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
On the counter, it's Taylor.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They give to Taylor out of the gun.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. He'll look to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete.
And he is going to have a Jags first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
3rd and 4 is always a tough call. Maybe a little too long to run for it, but not too long to hit him on the quick slant. And that was well executed. Found the window and zipped it right in there.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll drop to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Brady. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Taylor.
And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. They'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer, but he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Looking to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A 9-yard touchdown grab.
And the Jaguars are back within a score. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it with a 2nd down and 2 coming up. To throw is Aikman. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
It's a gain of just a couple there, but it's enough to get him the first.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Aikman now off the bootleg. Steps away. And he'll just get rid of it.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Aikman setting to throw it. He finds his man, complete. That's Owens. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Now it's Aikman. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Yannick Ngakoue with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on here to punt it away. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for, a really good change of pace back.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's got Smith here. And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 44-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Let's go right here.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They're going to look to throw. He's got Lewis.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Again, he'll drop to throw. And this complete to Mitchell. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
Because his primary job is defending against the pass, you don't often see a cornerback making tackles in the backfield. But he's playing run all the way here.
Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will knot us up at 10. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capture the field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. Taken at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Dallas offense set for this next drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
What's the deal, y'all?
A 1st down carry for Smith. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They go play action with Aikman. He completes this to Walker. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for just 3. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Now Aikman looking to throw. Repeat of the last play, finding Walker. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Looking to pass, Aikman on 1st down. Going right side, he has Winton. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-body tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
On 2nd down, it's Walker. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Staying on the ground, this time it's Smith. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. From the gun, it's Walker. A little juke. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
I would say that's what you call a whole lot for a little, huh?
When you bust that move out of the bag, you hope for more than 4 yards, but hey, 4 is what he got. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. From the shotgun, Aikman got his man complete over the middle. That's Pearson. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 33. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Aikman. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Aikman will throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
This offense 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though, 3rd and long.
This one goes underneath to Walker.
And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it, but it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop it before he could get to the marker.
Fourth down, Cowboy kicker Greg Zuerlein comes on.
He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and they will take the lead at 13-10. So a dozen plays on that drive, CD, but in the end, it yields just the 3 points.
Well, they were able to keep the defense on the field for a long time, but let's be honest about it. That was about as unsatisfying a drive as you're going to get. 12 plays, and you only get 3 points out of it. Not quite the ending they were looking for.
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away.
And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. They'll set up to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Brady. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential, but when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Running straight ahead, Taylor. And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Smith catches left side.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. picked off by Trayvon Diggs. Past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown.
Well, that's what you get, apparently, when you try to take on a Pro Bowl cornerback. I mean, what a play there to make the interception and also bring it back for 6.
And he is so good that we've seen teams absolutely stay away from throwing the ball at him. Here, he's just reading the quarterback's eyes the entire way, makes a great play on the football, and turns it into 6.
Zerline now for the PAT. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. Complete. Smith has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Every day, let's do what we do every day. Get it! Get it! Let's go, man. Make plays, y'all. Make plays.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in.
24 yards the gain there, another first down as well.
He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Here's a handoff out of the gun.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Second and 5. Toward the sideline, he will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. It'll be a gain of 6 that time as it moves the chains as well.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. He'll drop to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Back to throw again.
And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. And his kick here is good. And that will tighten this one up a bit. Now a 1-score game at 20-13.
So the margin shrinks a bit as back-to-back drives here for him and with field goals.
Yeah, we know no one's turning down 3, especially in the first half, but you've got to finish these drives in the end zone. That's got to be a priority. Nice to have a reliable kicker, but outside of his agent, you know you'd rather him kick 1-pointers instead of 3-pointers.
Scobie now, kick it away after the made field goal.
This taken in at the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. And the Cowboys going to go on offense one final time in this first half.
And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation, either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10.
Here's Aikman setting to throw it.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 8 there on the play, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. They'll throw now on the final play. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome everyone to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Cowboys. And their passing game has been the reason why they lead thus far. They've had great success moving the ball through 2 quarters of play. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, they were even better throwing the football. Lots of open receivers to choose from, and you can bet that'll continue to be a focus in the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point.
The Jaguars with work to do. They trail here as we are back underway on EA Sports.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Jaguars ready to get going to start quarter number 3. Well, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the second quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
The fumble on first down. Now here's second down.
Now back to throw.
They'll set up the screen to Taylor.
Give him 5 on the screenplay, and that'll set up a third down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
On third down, they'll try and run for it on the draw.
And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more.
Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up fourth down. And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the second time. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. Here's Walker to start the drive.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
He's still having trouble moving the ball on the ground.
Yeah, so much for halftime adjustment. Sometimes the best adjustment you make is no adjustment. You just do things better. But in this case, I think an adjustment was in order. They may have to change up and start throwing the ball around a little bit more.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
To throw is Aikman.
Pass incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Now it's Aikman.
Bryant has it, and he goes out right around the 39. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll be fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on to kick it away.
Here's Williams to return.
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us the ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punt's coming in, I've never returned punts, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not, but sometimes you just have to have a sense, a feeling, and just have to make sure, number one, though, you catch.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Out of the gun, Walker with it. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Give him 3 yards on the run. Now they'll need to draw up something good here on 3rd and 13.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Looking to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown! From 17 yards out.
And the Cowboys have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Now Zerline on to add the extra point. And the lead is up to 14. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
On second down, it's Taylor.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
What's the deal, y'all?
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted.
And the Cowboys are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
Well, this is something we've seen before, partner. We've seen a defense bait a rookie, pretend to leave a window open, and then the defensive back jumped it as soon as the ball was released. Big-time play. They love taking advantage of the youngsters, and in this case, it paid off well.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field.
The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. This is Smith with a grab. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
This one was all about clearing space for this play to work because he's going to leak out of the backfield to his right and then angle his way up the field. And a really pretty throw to put it on him and create the big play downfield.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Now Aikman looking to throw, and this is caught by Witten, the tight end. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
Aikman operating from the gun. He completes this to Walker. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Again, it's Aikman. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them. Go with the screen, and they're able to get the 1st down.
Now Aikman. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. It's been all passing all the time on this drive. 5 for 5, and now 1st and goal.
Feels like a case of until they stop us, we might as well keep running the offense that we like to run. Don't change up and do something different just because you think you need to.
They go play action with Aikman.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown grab.
And the Cowboys take a 3-touchdown lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Zerline now for the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Jaguars back with it on offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
On the handoff, Taylor.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now they'll run on the draw. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
Well, hang on here a second. Looks like a Jaguar in some obvious discomfort from that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if we can drive the bus here again on this drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Smith up the middle. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call, because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5.
Play action. It's Aikman. He finds his man, complete. It's Owens. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 37. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Aikman will throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Owens. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. Working with a 2nd and 3. Inside handoff, Smith. And some room to work. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 50 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And this will be incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action from Jacksonville. Straight ahead, Walker. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
Cowboys trot out Greg Zuerlein. This from 25 yards out. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. Only 3 points there, but I got to think at this point in the 3rd quarter, that's all you're really looking for.
And right now the lead is 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions. So you and I both know a huge order for the best of teams. And from what we've seen so far, hard to believe that that's a likely scenario. 3 two-point conversions? That's difficult.
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. And now out come the Jags. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Well, this is caught by Williams. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end, and he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags 1st down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time.
And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football.
Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's the guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw here.
A throw over the middle, caught by Bryant. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
56 yards on the ground for him so far.
Good gain there on first down. It keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. He ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively.
Yeah, the Cowboys are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds.
And now we're going to get a stoppage. A member of the Cowboys shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Here's Aikman setting to throw it. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Cowboys have sewn this one up as they add to their lead here in the 4th. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
The Jaguars getting set to go.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers you would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target.
On the draw is Taylor.
Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll set up to throw. And he will find his man on the outside.
And he will have a Jaguars first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Only 3 there on the screen at 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's a 2nd and 7.
Quick slant here to Smith. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here.
That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down. They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Quick hitter here, it's complete.
And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. They're going to look to throw. Forced out to his left.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8.
Ball on the 8, 2nd and 2.
They'll look to throw here. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. This offense has converted 2 third downs on this drive already. This is 3rd and 4. They'll set up a throw. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about.
A CD, that helps the home team as they try to erase this deficit, give them the penalty for pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, and they certainly haven't been happy with what they've seen so far, have they? They're certainly hoping that call now might get the fans back into this one.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Touchdown, Jaguars! A 5-yard touchdown.
And the Jaguars get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. So on this drive, the rookie leads him into the end zone, Charles, and that helps cancel out the points that were created on the previous drive when he threw the interception.
Yeah, let's give some credit to this rookie because instead of hanging his head after his mistake leads to a touchdown, he comes back out and he's firing and made up for it right there. A well-executed series helps reestablish some confidence in him to run this offense.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards.
Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field.
Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And some space here. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a 1st down.
So 4th quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
A handoff to Smith, and he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory.
62 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Here's the option play now to the left. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And unable to connect, incomplete. Give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines.
Jacksonville back on offense and ready to take over. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Got his man, it's Williams. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Looking to throw. Finding Williams once more, complete. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
2nd and 3. It's caught, Smith.
And they'll work this down inside the 30.
Let's go now, let's go. Who's going to make a play?
They'll look to throw again.
Goes right back to Smith again. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Defense simply not fooled by the draw there.
Well, they were thinking run to begin with, and what they tell their defensive linemen is play the run on your way to the quarterback. If someone shows, go get him, and that's exactly what they did.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. He finds his man, complete. That's Brady. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
A nice chunk play from the tight end position, and it illustrates the cohesiveness that he and his quarterback have. Both saw the extra defender doubling him up, and they still combined for the completion and big gain.
Now they got to get to the line quickly. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And it's caught. Touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Jaguars are able to cut into that deficit.
Obviously, the scoreboard right now is not the friend of this rookie quarterback, but hey, a touchdown pass there maybe builds a little confidence.
Every rep is valuable when you're a rookie. Every time you step up and throw the football, there's a lesson to be learned. Yeah, he took advantage of a little bit of loose coverage there with the lead, but at the same time, got it done. It'll take a little bit of satisfaction away from that throw.
Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready,
because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
So 2 scores down, time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Cowboys are able to recover. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. Here's a give to Smith. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They keep it with Smith on first down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Up the middle, here's Walker. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They'll try and run forward with Smith. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. 89 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right? Just us against the world and get it done. How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.